All right, today in geometry, we are looking at section 9.5, compositions of transformations. So a translation followed by a reflection can be performed one after the other to produce what's called a glide reflection. A glide reflection. A translation can be called a glide because we simply slide over or glide over or up or down. A glide reflection is a transformation in which every point P is mapped to a point P prime by the following steps. So first, a translation maps A to A prime. So if I have this picture over here, A goes to A prime. Then a reflection in a line M parallel to the direction of the translation maps A to A double prime. So A translated up this way. So that now I have a line that's parallel to that, same direction. So then A prime becomes A double prime by reflecting over that line. So we're going to look at finding an image of a glide reflection. So it gives me the vertices of triangle ABC are A, B, and C. Find the image of triangle ABC after the glide reflection of a translation, -4, 0, and a reflection of an x over the x-axis. So the first thing that we're going to do is plot the points that they give me. So 3, 2, there's my A, 6, 3, there's my B, and 7, 1, there's C. So here is our triangle, okay? So whenever I do this, okay, this should have an open dot right here. So first I want my reflect over the x-axis. And so I'm just going to list what are my A, my B, and my C. Remember that when I reflect over the x-axis, so this is A prime, B prime, C prime. When I reflect over the x-axis, I keep the x's and I change the y's. So this is going to become 3, -2. This is going to become 6, -3, and 7, -1. So I'm just going to switch colors. I'm going to plot those points. So 3, -2. There's my A prime. 6, -3. There's my B prime. And 7, -1. There's C prime. So there's the triangle that was reflected over the x-axis, right? Reflected over that. So now I want a translation of -4, 0. So now we're going to translate -4, 0. So this is going to give me A double prime, B double prime, and C double prime. And so just remember that I am taking each of these and I'm subtracting 4. I'm moving left 4. So I'm subtracting 4 from all of my x's. So 3 - 4 puts me at -1, -2. 6 - 4 puts me at 2, -3. 7 - 4 puts me at 3, -1. Or again, I could take each of these points and just move left 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's A double prime. If I'm here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2, -3 puts me here, B double prime. And then 3, -1 puts me at C double prime. So there is my triangle after I've translated it. And remember, a translation has the exact same orientation. It's just moving left or right or up or down. Okay? When 2 or more transformations are combined to form a single transformation, the result is a composition of transformations. So we have a composition of transformations. The notation for composition, okay, so I would have like reflects y equals x, and then I'm going to have an open dot. That open dot means composition, and then I've got my translation. So let's say translate 4, 10. You always work from the inside out. So I would do this one first, and then this one second. That's how we work it. All right, the composition of 2 or more rigid motions is a rigid motion itself, because we are not going to be changing the length or the angle measure. So the first one, quadrilateral, RSTV has vertices -3, 2, 0, 5, 4, -4, 0, -2. use this composition rule to graph and label the glide reflection. Okay? I don't have to graph RSTV or R prime. I need the ending result. Okay, I work backwards. So this is my first one that I'm going to do. So first, I'm going to reflect over the x-axis, which means I change all of my y's. So R prime, S prime, T prime, and V prime is what I'm looking for. So -3, -2, 0, -5, 4, 4, and 0, 2. Now I do the second one, which is the translation. So now I'm going to translate 1, 0, which just means I'm moving everything right 1, which is adding 1 to all of my x's. So this is going to give me R double prime, S double prime, T double prime, and V double prime. So if I start here and I say, okay, -3 plus 1 is -2. So I get -2, -2. 0 plus 1 puts me at 1, -5. 4 plus 1 puts me at 5, 4. And 0 plus 1 puts me at 1, 2. So these are the points I want to plot. So I'm going to plot these points. So -2, -2. Here's my R double prime. 1, -5. So I need to scroll down so I can see that. 1, -5. This is my S double prime. 5, 4. That is our T double prime. And 1, 2, V double prime. Now I'm going to connect these. And there is our graph, right? So just remember that you start on the outside and you work your way in. So whatever is the second one, that's the first one that I do. Then the first rule that they give to me, that's the last thing that I'm going to complete. Okay, so now we're going to flip it over. Now we're going to look at what is the glide reflection, okay? And our hint here is we want to work backwards. So it says, what is the glide reflection that maps triangle JKL to triangle J prime, double prime, K double prime, and L double prime? So remember, a glide reflection is where I have a translation, then a reflection, okay? So I have a translation, then I have a reflection. So the very first thing that I have to do here is find out what is my reflection, okay? So I need to work on finding what the reflection is going to be, okay? So first let's just list where are we starting at. So J, K, and L. So J is at the point -5, -2. K is at the point -2, 3. And L is at the point -3, -2. I know that first I would have to do the reflection, and then I would have to do my translation, because that's the way that a glide reflection is set up, okay? So I know that I want to look at reflecting these points, J, K, and L, so that it is oriented the exact same way as J double prime, L double prime, and K double prime. So I need this J and this L to come up here, and I need this K to come down here. So I need to reflect these to get the same orientation as J double prime, K double prime, and L double prime. So basically I need, if I wanted to get that exactly, right? So J, I need, it's going to be up here, right? L right there, and K. So I need it to look like this. This is going to be my J prime, my L prime, and my K prime. Because once I get that reflection, then I see I just have to move, I just have to glide it over, and it's going to lay on top. So I need to find out what line did I just reflect that over to get this picture. I do this exactly like we were doing the other day. So I'm pick a point, so I'm going to pick J and J prime, and I'm going to find the midpoint of J and J prime. And so I would get, let's see, -5 plus -5 divided by 2 And my y is -2 plus, so my j prime is at -4. So divided by 2. So when I work that out, here I get, so -5 plus -5 gets me -10 divided by 2. And then here I get 2 divided by 2. So this turns into the point -5, comma 1. I can tell that this was a reflection over a horizontal line, right? Because it has the same, this point came straight down, these points came straight up. So I know that this was over a horizontal line. So now I really only had to find the one midpoint. So now I know that my horizontal line is the line y equals, this was 1. So now I have that point, j prime, k prime, and l prime graphed. I need to find out my translation. I can see that there is no vertical translation, so it doesn't have to go up or down any to get over here. So there's only a horizontal translation. So I'm looking for how many spaces did I have to move. I see that it has to move to the right, so I'm just going to pick one and count. So if I pick L and I count over, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went to the right 5 units. So to write the glide reflection, okay, the last one that I did, my translation, comes first. Translate, I went right 5, so that's +5. I didn't go up or down any, so that's 0. Open dot, capital R for reflect. I reflected over the line y equals 1. And then what were we reflecting? Triangle JKL equals triangle J double prime, K double prime, L double prime. So there's my equation. All right, so let's try that again. So this time, what is the glide reflection that maps each of the following? Okay, so again, I can go ahead and graph these if I want. It doesn't matter. Okay? But again, I'm always going to find my reflection first. Okay? So if I graph these, A is at -3, 4. So there's my point A. B is at -4, 2. And C is at -1, 1. So here's my first triangle, right? I switch colors, and so now I'm at 1, 1. This is A double prime. These should be our double primes. This is where we're ending up. 2, -1 is B double prime. -1, -2 is C double prime. Okay. So again, I need to find my reflection. I need to reflect the purple triangle so that it has the same orientation as my green triangle. So I want to reflect this over, right? This over here, this over here. So if I'm reflecting and reflecting so that we have the same orientation, and then if I can't really see where I'm moving that over. So if I had something like this, A, B, and C, then I see that, again, I just have to glide this down to be on top of my green one. So what I need to find out is what is the line that I'm reflecting over. I can tell that it is a vertical line. I just don't know which line it is right now. So again, I'm going to find the midpoint, and we'll do A double prime first. Okay. So if I do A double prime, I've got -3 plus 1 cut in half, 4 plus 1 cut in half. So this turns to -2 divided by 2, 5 divided by 2. So my midpoint here is -1, 5/2. I could go ahead. I see that it's a vertical line, but just in case you can't see that, then I would find the midpoint of another. Pick either B or C. So let's say that I'm going to do C this time. C and C double prime. So -1 plus -1 cut in half, and 1 plus -2 cut in half. So here I get -2 divided by 2, and -1/2. So again, I get -1, comma, -1/2. If I still don't notice that, hey, my two x's are the same, so that's telling me that this is a vertical line, then from here I would find my slope. So if I find my slope, y2 minus y1, so -1/2 minus 5/2 over -1 minus -1. So up here, this gets me -6/2 over 0. So this is -3 divided by 0, which is undefined. And aha, here now I know undefined. I know it's a vertical line, which is x equals the x value of both of these points, -1. So now I look for my translations, or my slides, or my glides. So now, how far do I have to move? Oh, I went too far. So this point, I see I have to go, actually, let me erase this, and now that I properly know what I'm reflecting over, I'm reflecting over this line, x equals 1, so C stays the same, and so I was 1, 2 spaces, so this is my A prime. I was 1, 2, 3 spaces, so if I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, this is my B prime. So I look at how am I moving this triangle to get to this triangle. So my point A needs to drop down 1, 2, 3 spaces. So my A drops down 3 spaces. It didn't have to go any left or right, okay? So if it dropped down 3 spaces, then that is like subtracting 3 from my y's. So my rule, I do the translation first, so capital T. My x didn't move any, so 0, comma, I subtracted 3 from my y, so -3. Open dot, capital R for my reflection, x equals -1, triangle ABC equals triangle A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. So it's kind of putting everything that we've learned this week all in one lesson. That is a composition of transformations and how to find glide reflections.